Welcome back. We're about to play 3 Lies. It wasn't Gaelish at all. He had made it up himself. If I recall, Detective, this game is meant to be played by 3 people. We'd be excluding over half our number. I don't know about anybody else, but that's quite alright with me. Yes, I think watching will be entertaining enough. I'll set out this first game as well. It'll be easier to learn that way. Do you want to play, dear? Oh, there you have it. There's no problem if you, Jay, and I play first. I don't want... Jay, it'll be fun. You should play with us. Very well. Robin, why don't you explain the rules for Jay? Of course. 3 of us will pass around a coin, taking turns to say something about ourselves. It'll be either a lie or a truth. If you lie and it goes unnoticed, and the coin passes to the next person, you get a point. Before that, the other 2 have the opportunity to call you out. If they do, and they're right, you get a strike and they get a point. If they're wrong, they get a strike. 3 points and you win. 3 strikes and you lose. Excellently said. Thank you, Robin. This is a game of trust. We have to take each other's words that we're being honest here. That wasn't how we played it the first time, though. When Wren invented this game, he had a different goal in mind. Now we need a coin. He rummaged through his pockets. Oh, I have one! The elegant woman took a coin from her purse and handed it to Wren. It's Gaelish silver. They say it has special properties. How appropriate. Does anyone mind if I go first? By all means, Detective. He smiled and held the coin in front of him. Ahem. I, Wren, am 29 years old. That wasn't right. He's not that much older than me. He should be 26. Do you intend for me to point that out? Possibly. Oh, this is going to be interesting. We're not going to call him out. It was an obvious lie, one he knew I would notice. There's something about the way he worded it. The boy I knew had a different name. He might not be 29, but perhaps Wren was. He remained silent, and Jay followed my lead. No objections? Alright then. I believe it's your turn, Robin. Pass the coin to me. My, Detective, you look good for your age. Yes, I have to agree. You have a very youthful face. Thank you. I thought about what to say. I don't know what game we're playing, but it's not 3 Lies. I decided to wait and see where things were going. I prefer coffee over tea. Neither Jay nor Wren objected, so I passed on the coin. Wonder what Jay will say. He thought for a moment before speaking. I have at least one sibling. What an intriguing way to word that. You've certainly piqued my interest. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. That's part of my charm, don't you think? Jay has at least one sibling. That's... Ooh. I'm just gonna hold our tongue. But what's the truth? I had met someone before who called Jay his brother. More importantly, Jay, you'll have to do better than that. The detective is already aware that the 2 of us are siblings. Wren looked at us as though he might laugh, but he held it in. Oh, right, of course. I didn't call him on it, and neither did Detective Wren. Jay passed on the coin, and once again it was Wren's turn. I, Wren, have never met anyone on this train before yesterday. Again, he phrased it strangely. Well, he's met me, but... Had Wren ever met anyone on the train before? Oh boy. Hold her tongue. I didn't say anything. And once again, neither did Jay. Wren passed me the coin, and as soon as it was in my hands, oh, he's gonna... That's the point for me. I was lying. He's met someone on the train before. Fletcher, obviously. If I understood correctly, he didn't mean me. Was Wren trying to pass me information under the guise of a game? And it has to be... I suppose I forgot to mention, but there is a time penalty, Robin. My apologies. I haven't played in a while. It's my turn, so I thought over all my options. Certain that Wren is trying to tell me something with his answers. Much as I dislike it, I should play my turn safe. The safest bet was to tell a truth to try and trip one of them up. Oh. Alright. I've been engaged twice before. It wasn't too much of a stretch. I was confident this didn't count as a lie. I think you're lying. As I expected, Jay took the bait. Aha! I can't imagine anyone proposing to you, let alone two people. Just can't miss an opportunity to be rude. Who said they both proposed to me? I'm perfectly capable of choosing my own suitor. I'm not lying, by the way. You get a strike. Jay arched his eyebrows and scowled. Two people? Wren, meanwhile, was blushing furiously and trying to avoid my eyes. I suppose, technically, I may have been one of them. But who was the other one? That's nearly the same face you made the first time. Aha, he was the first one. My, Robin, you're so very popular. Proposed to a man yourself, didn't you? I like that kind of forward thinking. Satisfied with my turn, I passed the coin to Jay. He closed his eyes in thought. He seemed to be having a hard time coming up with something. He's not usually keen on talking about himself. I've never had a pet. I just don't see the point. Why not? Wasn't completely sure, but it did seem like him to think such a thing. He remained silent, and so did the detective. When the coin passed to Wren, Jay spoke up. I was lying. I found that surprising. Yet, you had a pet? What kind? A cat. I'm fond of them. What did I tell you? I knew he had a soft side hidden deep down. They are loving this game. You have such a sense for these things. Imagining Jay taking care of a cat was rather cute. What was their name? I don't have to tell you, that's not in the rules. What you mean is that you don't want to say. Perhaps it's too embarrassing. Isn't there a time penalty? Yes, you're right. Wren looked at the coin thoughtfully. I, Wren, often lie to my superior. The attendant gave him a curious glance. If Wren noticed, he didn't react. The expression was more serious than it had been previously. Well, something important about this statement. Let's call him out. I believe you're lying right now, detective. I also think you're lying. You've caught me. It's actually quite difficult to lie to my superior. I found other ways to protect my secrets. Ooh. Detective. Wren ignored him. The three of us seem to be evenly matched. I suppose you were expecting to win by a landslide, detective. It's not that. I just didn't expect you to last this long, Jay. This is quite fun, isn't it? If only we were able to play games like this more often. Shall we continue? Crash. Uh-oh. The car shook slightly as we heard a muffled commotion from down the train. What was that? The attendant gave Wren a conflicted look. Go on, I'll be fine here. He nodded and quickly left the car in the direction of the noise. What on earth? The group sat in tense silence for a moment. Something strange is happening. Once the attendant was well and truly gone, Wren looked as though he was about to say something. He was cut off by one of the older women. Oh my, I do hope Fletcher can handle himself. In the meantime, how about a spot of fun? I agree, now that our babysitter has left. The deep-voiced woman drew back her sleeve, revealing a silver watch. Couldn't see its face, but it began ticking rhythmically. Why didn't we hear that before? What? Wren? Don't. Wren and the bored-looking man both jolted to attention as though the woman had drawn a weapon. What? Wren stumbled, and his look of concern turned to confusion. Wait, what was I doing? The other man seemed to forget why he stood up as well. What's going on? Honey? Jay, are you alright? Jay had his hand halfway into his jacket, but he didn't seem to be able to sit up anymore. What did you do? I turned to face the woman, then I noticed something strange. What? What? Her eyes were glowing. What? I felt uncomfortable. Where was I again? Whoa! The room began to spin and my knees hit the floor hard. I was trapped in my body, unable to stop the wave of unconsciousness that was rolling over me. What? No, don't fall asleep. As I laid face down on the floor, but willing to myself to stay awake, the woman continued to talk. It's already starting. It's never happened so fast before. Then you need to stop. If you turn now... That's fine, see? These ones have already gone. Quickly then, let's get this one first. You were right, he did have a gun. Voices got further and further away as I continued to fade out. What? And then I was gone. What? Last thing I felt was the sensation of floating. Somehow I was drifting down the length of the train. Or perhaps that was only a dream. Oh my god. When I came to, I found myself slouched over the sofa in a dimly lit cabin. I quickly realized that it was my room, but it wasn't in the same state I had left it. Drawers and cabinets stood open, and the things from our luggage had been thrown about haphazardly. There's no doubt about it, someone had been looking for the case. Ah, you're awake. Huh? Fletcher, who was standing near the door, approached me when he noticed I was conscious. What happened? Where are Jay and Wren? I don't know yet, but I have my men looking for them. Butters was only able to grab you when the chaos started. That's right. We've been together at the lounge when something happened. Witches! I couldn't remember it exactly. It was like some of the pieces were missing. All I knew was that I had felt strange, and then lost consciousness. Had we been drugged? What's going on? Did you do this? I understand your distrust considering the current situation. But no, I did not destroy your room. In fact, the reason I left was to stop the thing that did. He motioned to a dark corner where I could just make out the silhouette of something hunched over on the ground. It didn't look human. Some kind of animal. Some of the other passengers have become aware of a delicate private matter. Something that was meant to stay between me and my ex-business partner. A matter that involves you and your so-called bodyguard, Miss Robin. And now, even with my warning, some of the others decided to try and capitalize on my absence. For that, I apologize. Our kind tend to be prone to our vices. For many of our group, that vice is greed. You're quite lucky I had the foresight to send bidders back. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I see you haven't figured it out yet. Allow me to explain. Some of the passengers are different from the others. This train was made to serve a very special, very secret clientele. I had thought perhaps that you were one of us. I'm glad to see that is not the case. This is a terrible curse to bear. It also means that you have no use for the item you stole from Bertram Sullivan. I played dumb. Bertram Sullivan, the man whose murder the detective is investigating. I never even met him. I think he may have mistaken me for someone else. He chuckled. You can deny it all you like, but I will find out. Do you need convincing? Perhaps you would be more cooperative if the detective explained things to you. Wren? Oh yes, everything I told you about him was true. Would you like to guess how I know that? He works for you. You're his master in the shadows. Precisely. Oh no. You're blackmailing him, aren't you? You made him do all those things. Fletcher scoffed. You're not entirely wrong, but Wren was a criminal well before I happened upon him. I just directed his energy to more constructive matters. But for some reason, he's been rather defiant on this trip. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Robin? You've caused him a great deal of trouble. He really doesn't have any more chances, you know. I'm of half a mind to get rid of him sooner rather than later. Unless I give you what you want, right? You're a clever one. Among the things you took was a silver box. I just want it back. I thought I remembered something like what he described, but if you have any idea where it is, please tell me. Was that all he wanted? If I tell you, will you let Wren go? That sure looked like he was seriously considering it. If you give me what I want, I will allow Wren to leave my employ if he so wishes. He has very little use to me outside his professional capacity anyways. You, however... I'm not your enemy, Robin. In fact, I think the two of us would work very well together. But first, the box. Where is it? It's in a case on the top of the car. Fletcher sighed and put his hand on my shoulder. There, that wasn't so hard. Now, let's talk business. Wren awoke to find himself in a space that was completely unrecognizable. Or at least that's what he thought at first. Is this Robin's room? The room was thoroughly destroyed. Someone had been searching for something. What happened? Picked himself up off the floor and winced as pain shot up his arm and through his shoulder. Initial shock subsided, but a dull burning sensation remained. Had he broken it somehow? Shit. He stood and surveyed his surroundings. I need to find them. He left the room and entered the hallway. Everything was quiet. Through the windows, he could still see the starry sky as the train continued through the Galish countryside. Moon shone in the car, giving everything an eerie silver glow. So it hasn't been that long. He checked the other cabins, but there was no one else in the car with him. But I hope everyone's alright. Carefully he made his way up to the rest of the train. Hello? Is anyone here? No one replied. I was getting more anxious by the minute. Had something horrible happened? Was he the only one that survived? No, if that were the case, there would be bodies. Instead, there was nothing. It was as though Wren had been the only passenger. Ghost wandering the tunnels of a long forgotten ruin. Your head is quite a mess. Turned to the source of the voice, and there he saw. Oh. Rosalind. Rosalind, you all right? Pulled her into a one-armed embrace, which she didn't reciprocate. Uh-oh. Is that this one's name? It's hard to keep track. What? We shall have to try to remember it. Oh, no. After all, she's the one who gave us back what we lost. Who are you? What did you do with everyone? They giggled. Don't worry, they're here with us. Right where they were always meant to be. But you... They looked around the train car. Your mind is an intriguing maze. What are you talking about? This happens sometimes with those of you who don't belong to us. You resist. We're only trying to help you. But it seems you'd rather wither away than be a part of us. It's a shame that you choose to be alone. We thought you might want to stay with them, Wren. Huh? Just when you thought you found what you had lost, you're going to let it slip away again? Her voice echoed in the empty hallway, and Warren was gripped with a terrifying thought. I'm dying, aren't I? Something happened on the train, and I never woke up. They nodded. A pit formed in his stomach. He had failed. Oh, damn. He hadn't even gotten to say goodbye. It was just like the last time. Except now there's no hope that I'll ever see her again. He was going to be alone. Truly, completely alone. I can't. Not again. This strange person, help him. Please, if there's a way for me to stay. We already told you, you're resisting. Why? That doesn't make any sense. I feel like this is a callback to our answer on the crow thing. Why would I choose this? They giggled again. Because a part of you knows. If she has us, she doesn't need you. Oh no. Of course, that had always been the case. It's just as true now as it was when they were children. Just didn't want to see it. Isn't there something I can do? It was too late. He could already feel himself slipping away. The person looked at him with pity. It won't be long now. Why don't you rest? We'll stay with you until you're gone. And don't worry, even if your own memory fades, a version of you will still exist in ours. I feel like I should be doing the Crow voice instead of Fletcher's voice for that, because that's clearly bad end hair. Well then. Oh boy, that took a turn. I was not expecting. But I think it's safe to say I don't even know. I don't even know what we could do differently there. So there are other parties who are witches who are trying to steal back the gem. Fletcher clearly wants the gem. God, wow, I don't know what to make of that. God damn. I feel like that ending scene there was directly tied to our answer to the Crow question. The magpie was death, and so the magpie, the thief in this situation, was there for Wren in the end. Because Wren was resisting death. I feel like that's the obvious hint, so I feel like my first play is to go back and change my answer on the Crow question, and see how much changes in the aftermath. So, the maiden was death. The maiden was death, right? Magpie didn't want to die, so it tricked her. When the magpie swallowed her eye, it gave them some of her power. That was right. Then it was a rather sad story. Does this mean she ends up alone after all? I wonder. Have you heard this story before, perchance? No, this is the first time. A first witch is a monster meant to scare careless children into behaving. Let's skip ahead. Alright. Now we're gonna skip through here. Don't call him out. I feel like we could theoretically lose the game here. Let's just keep going with our answers from before. Let's actually call him out here. I say you're lying, detective. He gave me a sly grin. And how would you know that, Robin? It's called intuition. I think you're lying as well. Pouty face. Well, at least one of you has some good instincts. I was lying. That's one strike for me. Passed on the coin. He's met someone on the train before. If I understood correctly, he didn't mean me. Aha, and the game continues. I've given dance lessons before. It wasn't too much of a stretch. I was confident this didn't count as a lie. Jay looked conflicted, but Wren spoke up. I think you're lying. Aha! I'd never thought of my own dance lesson, something Wren was quite aware of. He'd fallen for my trap. Perhaps I don't look the type, but it's true. Just ask Jay. she's alright, I suppose. You taught Jay how to dance? That's so cute! Who taught me how to dance? I bet you have 2 left feet, don't you, Glasses? No, I wager he's quite good. Would be an interesting contrast, don't you think? Please stop talking. That's your second strike, isn't it, Detective? You're right, but I won't be baited into another. Satisfied with my turn, I passed the coin on to Jay. He closed his eyes and thought. He seemed to be having a hard time coming up with something. He's not usually keen on talking to himself. I'd say an underrated expression, that one. Such a warm smile. I never had a pet. I just don't see the point. I wonder if we could get Jay to lose. Telling the truth. I wasn't completely sure, but it did seem like him to oh, alright, he means, nah, he did do that before. He's lying. Wasn't sure why, but that struck me as false. I think you're lying, Jay. I agree. You wouldn't know. No, but I suspect Robin would. Was she right? Yes, I was lying. Fair enough. Now, because this will actually, if we both remain silent, and the coin passed to Wren, Jay spoke up. This is Wren's third strike. I was lying. Alright. Cat. What did I tell you? I knew he had a soft side hidden deep down. She's got a red gem brooch and kind of red eyes. They both have kind of red eyes. And red gems. You have such a sense for these things. I can see why it was important to give them actual expressions going into this part, considering how things develop involving them. Imagining Jay taking care of a cat was rather cute. What was their name? I don't have to tell you, that's not in the rules. What you mean is that you don't want to say. Perhaps it's too embarrassing. Isn't there a time penalty? Ah, yes, you're right. That's your third strike, Jay. Oh, wait, no. That's alright, we're still going through this. We're not gonna call Wren out here. What Fletcher said about him was true, then Wren must lie to his superior quite often. I decided not to object. The coin passed to me and Wren spoke up. I was lying. It's actually quite difficult to lie to my superior. I found other ways to protect my secrets. Fair enough. Detective. Wren ignored him. Alright, we evenly matched. But alas, let's continue. See if things change going forward here. Sensation of floating. Somehow I was drifting down the length of the train. Perhaps that was only a dream. Seems to be the same idea. Oh, nope, we're still Wren. Unfortunately. Alright. There's only a minor change there, but... still feels very much like we're getting into interesting territory. With witches in here. Okay. This is going to be interesting, trying to figure out how to get through this without dying horribly. So I feel like if we start at the beginning... This felt very much like a Jay versus Wren choice. First we asked if First, we asked him if he would stay. So, you'd be alright on your own. Jay, would you really be alright on your own in Gales? I mean, do you even speak Gaelish? I'll get by. I'm sure you'll manage just fine without me, too. You're good at that sort of thing. It'll be safer for you that way. How is leaving me alone in a foreign country safe? Trust me, it is. He changed the subject. How about the case? We will sort that out momentarily. Now we've already consented to the search, so we'll just run through that. And I say. This time we're gonna scold Jay, though. We are still rolling. I think it's just that their personalities clash. Though my bodyguard is being unnecessarily standoffish. You have no reason to not to trust the detective, right, Jay? My apologies. He addressed his apologies to the wall instead of Wren, but that was probably as good as it was going to get. No hard feelings, I didn't take it personally. Odd, I certainly meant it personally. Why does it feel like I'm dealing with two bickering children? Alright, I think we're good. Oh, Fletcher. You're very authoritative. We'll continue. Now on to playing Three Lies. The question of Wren's age. We didn't call him up before, let's call him out. He gave such a blatant lie, something he knew I would notice. Must have intended me to call him on it. For what purpose? I don't know yet, though. I believe you're lying, Detective. I agree. I think you're lying as well. Unfortunately, you're wrong. You both get a strike. Well, sure, I was right, but Wren didn't budge. Why was he so adamant this lie was the truth? Oh boy, I knew had a different name. He may not really be 29, but perhaps Wren was. I believe it's your turn, Robin. Pass the coin to me. Aye, Detective, you look good for your age. Yes, I agree. You have a very youthful face. Flustered Wren. Best Wren. Okay, next. There's at least one sibling, that's... And we're gonna say it's the truth. What's the truth? Yeah, because we already know that. More importantly, Jay, you'll have to do better than that. The detective is already aware the two of us are siblings. Alright, move through that. Now... This is... meeting people on the train. Don't call them out. Didn't say anything. Once again, neither did Jay. Ran past me the coin, and as soon as it was in my hands... That's a point for me. I was lying. He's met someone on the train before. Understood correctly, he didn't mean me. Was Wren trying to pass me information under the guise of a game? Then it has to be. I suppose I forgot to mention, but there is a time penalty, Robin. My apologies, I haven't played in a while. It was my turn, so I thought over my options. I'm certain that Wren is trying to tell me something with his answers. As much as I dislike it, I should play my turn safe. The safest bet was to tell the truth to try and trip one of them up. We've been engaged. This is the one that Wren took interest in. I've been engaged twice before. It wasn't too much of a stretch. I was confident that this didn't count as a lie. I think you're lying. Expected. Jay took the bait. I can't imagine anyone proposing to you, let alone two people. Just can't miss an opportunity to be rude. Who said they both proposed to me? I'm perfectly capable of choosing my own suitor. That's another strike for you. One more and you're out. Jay arched his eyebrows and scowled. Wren, meanwhile, was blushing furiously and trying to avoid my eyes. As It's nearly the same face you made the first time. My, Robin, you're so very popular. Opposed to a man yourself, did you? I like that kind of forward thinking. Satisfied with my turret, I pass the coin on to Jay. And this is his pet one. He's lying. I'm not sure why, but that struck me as false. I think you're lying, Jay. I agree. You wouldn't know. No, but I suspect Robin would. Was she right? Yes, I was lying. You had a pet? What kind? A cat. I'm fond of them. What did I tell you? I knew he had a soft side hidden deep down. You have such a sense for these things. Imagine Jay taking care of a cat. It was rather cute. What was their name? Mittens. I don't have to tell you, that's not in the rules. What you mean is that you don't want to say. Perhaps it's too embarrassing. Isn't there a time penalty? Ah, yes, you're right. Wren looked at the coin thoughtfully. I, Wren, often lie to my superior. The attendant gave him a curious glance. If Wren noticed, he didn't react. His expression was more serious than it had been previously. Something important about this statement. Let's not call him out. What Fletcher was said about him was true, then Wren must lie to his superiors quite often. I decided not to object. The coin passed to me, and Wren spoke up. I was lying. It's actually quite difficult to lie to my superior. I found other ways to protect my secrets. Detective. Wren ignored him. I believe that means I've won. Aha! Yes, good show. That was most entertaining. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. You were wonderful, Detective. Congratulations, Wren. You're a difficult opponent. You're rather formidable yourself. Would have been quite the disaster if you'd lost, though. What a spectacular failure of a detective you would be if you couldn't tell a simple white lie from the truth. Jay was clearly sore about losing. At least I played the game myself. You simply followed Robin's lead. Perhaps you should participate if you don't have any thoughts of your own. Ooh, shots fired. I need to interject before this got out of hand. Both of you are being a bit childish, don't you think? He started it. Uh-oh. Here we go. The car shook slightly as we heard a muffled commotion from down the train. What was that? The attendant gave Wren a conflicted look. Go on. We'll be fine here. He nodded and quickly left the car in the direction of the noise. The group sat in tense silence for a moment. Something strange is happening. Once the attendant was well and truly gone, Wren looked as though he was about to say something. But he was cut off by one of the older women. My, I do hope Fletcher can handle himself. But in the meantime, how about a spot of fun? I agree, now that our babysitter has left. The deep-voiced woman drew back her sleeve, revealing a silver watch. I couldn't see its face, but it began ticking rhythmically. Didn't we hear that before? Wren knows. Don't! Wren and the bored-looking Wren both jolted to attention, as if the woman had drawn a weapon. So... means clearly that the man knows what kind of train this really is. Wren knows because he works for Fletcher, who's also a witch or cursed being. Wren stumbled, and his look of concern turned to confusion. Wait, what was I doing? The other men seemed to forget why he stood up as well. What's going on? Honey? She might not be, though. Then And she seems oblivious. She seems as oblivious as Robin. Ugh. Jay, are you alright? Jay probably just sensed danger. Jay had his hand halfway into his jacket, but he didn't seem able to sit up anymore. What did you do? I turned to face the woman, and then I noticed something strange. Yes. Her eyes were glowing. What? I felt uncomfortable. Where was I again? The room began to spin, and my knees hit the floor hard. I was trapped in my body, unable to stop the wave of unconsciousness that was rolling over me. No, don't fall asleep. As I lay face down on the floor, willing myself to stay awake, the women continued to talk. It's already starting. It happened so fast before. Then you need to stop. If you turn now... It's fine, see? These ones are already gone. Okay then, let's get this one first. You're right, he did have a gun. Their voices got further and further away as I continued to fade out. Then I was gone. The last thing I felt was the sensation of floating. Somehow I was drifting down the length of the train. Perhaps that was only a dream. An annoying voice called through the thick door of the study. Chadwick! If you don't let me in, I'll tell your father. Go ahead. I'll just say you were mean to me. Then he'll tell your father, and you'll be the one in trouble. It was a bluff. I had been specifically told to make nice with Chadwick. I was supposed to be entertaining him while our fathers talked business. But Chadwick was stupid and boring. I couldn't stand him. Ross, my lady, I really have to get back before they notice I'm gone. Warren fidgeted nervously behind me. You lost our last game. That means you have to do what I say all day long. Those were the rules. Ah, baby Rosalind and Warren. Too cute. I love them. So good. I knew he would most likely get into trouble for skirting his kitchen duties, but being alone with Chadwick made my skin crawl. I felt much better with Warren there beside me. Chadwick was banging on the door now, still demanding to be let in. Over his boorish shouting, Warren continued. My lady, Stop calling me that! You know my name. I command that you use it. My father had recently scolded him for being too familiar with me, but I didn't care. Warren and I were friends, and friends called each other by their name. He sighed and put his hand to his chin, thinking, All right, Rosalind, I'll do what you say. On one condition. Baby Rosalind, pouty face. Adorable. I'm listening. He grinned, and instantly I knew he was up to something. Let's play a game with Chadwick. I gave an exasperated sigh. You and I are much too smart for him. He'd be crushed no matter what we play. Warren laughed, sending butterflies through my stomach. Oh. He laughed often and easily, but I still liked hearing it. Maybe so, but then he can't say you ran away. Plus, wouldn't it be fun to mess with him? That didn't sound so bad. You'll play too? If my lady demands it of me. Those were the rules after all. Fine. Friends, the door opened and Chadwick toppled into the room. About damn time! You're lucky I don't tell my father what a terrible host you are. And you're lucky I don't tell your father you're cursing. He clapped his hand to his mouth and gave me a dirty look. Stop whining. Decided the three of us are going to play a game. I sat in the large cushioned chair behind Father's desk. I don't want to play with him. Who even are you? I'm Warren, and we've met several times before. Sorry, I only remember the names of important people. And what was your name again? Chadwell? It's Chadwick. Chadwick. Oh, that can't be right. That's too dumb to be a real name. You! Silence! I slam my hands on the desk, demanding their attention, being fierce in the most adorable fashion possible. Chadwell, Warren is my friend. It's rude to insult your host's friends in their own home. Mumbled Chadwick under his breath, but didn't argue further. Warren, explain the rules of the game to Chadwell. As my lady Rosalind commands. Give a dramatic bow and tip the pretend hat. It's called 3 Lies. It's a gaelish game I heard about from one of the cooks. 3 of us will sit in a circle and take turns passing this coin. Grabbed a coin off the desk and held it up. When you have the coin, you have to say something about yourself. You can tell the truth, or you can lie. If you're able to lie successfully, as soon as the coin passes to the next person, you get a point. For that, the other 2 are allowed to call you out on it. If they're right, they get a point, and you get a strike. 3 strikes, and you lose. Wouldn't you just call everyone out every time, then? Isn't finished. Of course you can't do that. Warren put his hand to his chin and thought. If you call someone out and you're wrong, you get a strike instead. If you successfully get 3 points, you win. Crossed his arms, looking rather pleased with himself. Warren and I played many games, but I had never heard of this one. Wondered if it was another one he'd made up. It did sound fun, though. Did I explain it simply enough for you, Chadwell? What if you lie about lying? This game doesn't seem fair. Only a terrible person would do that, Chadwell. This is the game based on trust. Exactly. It doesn't sound like it. Here, I'll go first, demonstrate. Warren held up the coin and cleared his throat. I am 13 years old. Both Chadwell and I remained silent. See? Easy. Here, Rosalind, your turn. He passed the coin on to me. I thought about what I should say. Think about myself, but Warren knows me too well. Glanced at Warren briefly while I thought. Gave me a mischievous smile. Ah, so that's it. Chadwell is playing 3 Lies, but you and I are playing a different game, aren't we? I got excellent marks on my last mathematics test. Good for you, my lady. All that studying paid off. Chadwell looked unsure, but again remained silent. Chadwell's turn. I held out the coin for him to take, and as soon as I'd passed it on... Yes! 1 point for me! What? That's not fair. How am I supposed to know if you're lying? It's called intuition, Chadwell. You got a brain, Chadwell. Use it. Now hurry it up, or you get a time penalty strike. You didn't say that at the beginning. Didn't I? I also got good marks on my mathematics exam. Bzz, liar. Warren pointed a finger accusingly at Chadwell. How would you know? Call it a lucky guess. Chadwell grumbled and admitted the lie, handing the coin over to Warren. We're even now, my lady. And Chadwell has a strike. You're a terrible liar, Chadwell. I, for one, think that's a good thing. Quiet, it's my turn. I once went on holiday in Gales. As far as I was aware, Warren had never even been outside of the city before. But he had let my lie go unnoticed, so I decided to repay the favor. You're lying. You couldn't afford that. Besides, who would take you? Aren't your parents dead? Uh-oh. A twinge of anger crossed Warren's face, but he quickly stifled it. Teasing was hard to prove, but if Warren did anything more than that to Chadwell, there could be serious repercussions. What a nasty thing to say. No wonder you don't have any friends. Warren is telling the truth. My father told me about it. Oh. Precious, he did? That means you have 2 strikes. It's my turn again. I had out my hand for the coin. My father is buying an even larger house soon, and he's giving me this one for my birthday. I get to do whatever I want. Only my real friends will be allowed to come see me. You won't be invited, Chadwell. How generous of your father. You're so lucky, my lady. I can't wait to visit you. Visit me? What are you talking about? You're going to live here with me, dummy. I wouldn't let father take you away. Warren's face flushed red. I said something strange? I thought he would want to say. Want to stay. Yeah, you don't have to, of course. I think that would be fun. Aww. God, they're so cute. They're too good. That's ridiculous. Who would possibly believe that? Are you going to call me out then? Chadwell had 2 strikes. If he called my bluff only for Warren to back me up, he would be out of the game. No. Passed the coin on, and when it left my hands, I held up 2 fingers. It's 2 points for me. 1 more and I win. That's not fair. You 2 are working together. No one is on my side. That's because you're a horrible person, Chadwell. It's Chadwick. Chadwick threw the coin across the room. And guess what, Rosalind? You're going to be stuck with me. What are you talking about? You and I are going to be married. That's what your father called mine here to discuss. He told me so. Wouldn't be true, could it? What an awful thing to lie about. You lose, Chadwell. It's not a lie. Why don't you go ask him? I'm done playing this game. Warren's a dirty cheater anyway. You're mine. You won't be allowed to see him anymore. Well. Fuck you, Chadwell. Warren grabbed Chadwick by the collar. Uh-oh. Can't talk to her like that. Get your hands off me. How dare you say that to me? How dare you threaten to keep Warren away? He's just like father. Doesn't matter what you say, Chadwell. There's no way I'll ever marry you. I'll prove it. How? I went to one of the curio cabinets and searched around for something suitable. A pocket watch stood out to me. On its front was an image of a hare surrounded by flowers. Oh. For some reason, it reminded me of Warren. Took it from its cushion and shoved it in Chadwell's face. This is the precious heirloom my mother left me. She said to give it to the man I want to marry. We would be bound together forever. Never marry you. I'm gonna marry Warren instead. I wrenched the watch away from Chadwell and turned to Warren. I love how she even called him Chadwell in her narration. Perfect. Hold out your hand, dummy. His face as red as a tomato, Warren did as he was told. He placed it in his open palm, gave him a kiss on the cheek to seal the deal. Oh. There. No matter how hard you try, you won't be able to keep us apart. It's fate. Chadwell's face was red, too. If you want to marry some stupid servant, then you aren't fit for me anyway. Turned to Warren, who was still dumbfounded. Good luck keeping her. You're nothing, and one day she's going to realize that. She'll forget about you, and you'll be all alone, just like you deserve. Ooh. Jesus. He stormed out of the study without another word. What a jerk. Don't listen to him, Warren. Warren? Was any of that true? What do you mean? About the watch and you marrying me? I had been so caught up in my anger at Chadwick that I had let slip some very embarrassing things. Well, I mean... Don't you have kitchen duties? I can aid you to return to work. We fled the study at lightning speed, leaving Warren and the watch behind. Oh no, and it's that embarrassing. Oh. And that's what led to Warren being thrown out. Oh, jeez. When I came to, I found myself slouched over on the sofa in a dimly lit cabin. I realized that it was my room, but wasn't in the same state I'd left it. Drawers and cabinets stood open, and the things from our luggage had been thrown about haphazardly. There was no doubt about it. Someone had been looking for the case. Ah, you're awake. Fletcher was standing next to the door, approached me when he noticed I was conscious. What happened? Where are Jay and Wren? I don't know yet, but I have my men looking for them. Bitters was only able to grab you when the chaos started. That's right, we'd been together in the lounge when something happened. Couldn't remember it exactly. It's like some of the pieces were missing. Gotta ask if, the pocket watch isn't some kind of magical heirloom. It seemed like the old ladies in the lounge broke out a pocket watch to start doing some crazy shit. And that's why Robin's father flipped his shit when he found out it was stolen and tossed Warren out on his ass for it. Even though it was, unfortunately, even though it was not his fault in the slightest. But still. All I knew is that was that I had felt strange, and then lost consciousness. Been drugged? What's going on? Did you do this? I understand your distrust, considering the current situation. But no, I did not destroy your room. In fact, the reason I left was to stop the thing that did. I motioned to a dark corner where I could just make out the silhouette of something hunched over on the ground. It didn't look human. It was some kind of animal. Some of the other passengers have become aware of a delicate private matter. Something that was meant to stay between me and my ex-business partner. A matter that involves you and your so-called bodyguard, Miss Robin. And now, even with my warning, some of the others decided to try and capitalize on my absence. For that, I apologize. Our kind tend to be prone to our vices. For many of our group, that vice is greed. You're quite lucky I had the foresight to send Bitters back. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I see you haven't figured it out yet. Allow me to explain. Some of the passengers are different from the others. This train was made to serve a very special, very secret clientele. I had thought perhaps that you were one of us. I'm glad to see that is not the case. This is a terrible curse to bear. It also means that you have no use for the item you stole from Bertram Sullivan. I played dumb. Bertram Sullivan, the man whose murder the detective's investigating. Never even met him. I think you have me mistaken for someone else. He chuckled. You can deny it all you like, but I will find out. Do you need convincing? Perhaps you would be more cooperative if the detective explained things to you. Wren. Oh yes, everything I told you about him was true. Would you like to guess how I know that? He works for you. You're his master in the shadows. Precisely. You're blackmailing him, aren't you? You made him do all those things. Fletcher scoffed. You're not entirely wrong. But Wren was a criminal well before I happened upon him. I just directed his energy to more constructive matters. But for some reason he's become rather defiant on this trip. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Robin? You've caused him a great deal of trouble. He really doesn't have many more chances, you know. I'm of half a mind to get rid of him sooner rather than later. Must I give you what you want, right? You're a clever one. Among the things you took was a silver box. I just want it back. Thought I remembered something like that like what he described, but he's got the same shade of red eyes as the old lady's. If you have any idea where it is, please tell me. Thought you think I was stupid? Won't be manipulated so easily. Wren wasn't helpless. He knew what he was doing. Ah. Whatever his goal was, it was important enough to risk his life over. To undermine his efforts now and give in to Fletcher would be a slap in the face. Maybe a criminal, but so am I. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. There's no way I misread his feelings. I trust him with my life. I don't believe a word you've said. As for your silver box, I've never seen anything like it. You should check your facts. I'm not the person you were looking for. So you want to be difficult. Fine. Reached into his pocket and drew out something silver. It was small and thin, with an engraved bird motif of with an engraved motif of a bird of some sort. A pocket watch. Uh-oh, you're going to regret this, Robin. Dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, that's concerning. As it is, we get another piece of their past, and we get a setup for the final part. Yep, it was originally meant to be part 1 and part 2, but as things developed, the creator did end up splitting this into 3. And I like it. I like it. That turn of the introduction of essentially magic in this part is really interesting. This has taken a really interesting turn. So now we know a bit more about exactly what it was that we stole from Bertram Sylvan. We know a bit more about just the organization looking for what we stole. Essentially, Fletcher wants it back. He's got his attendants. He's got Wren under his thumb. There's also other witches on this train who also want to wreak some chaos. And by virtue of taking advantage of not being babysat by an attendant, they decided to go wreak some chaos. Like there's a case of someone else causing a distraction and then the others waiting for them to be alone and then unleashing chaos. Yeah, well. Alright. I am hyped to see where this goes from here. It's going to be a very interesting conclusion, I don't doubt that in the slightest. But, I do have one more video to do for this, and that is Jay's Path, which essentially we're going to roll through the same events. It's going to end up being one video and on the shorter side, but we're going to roll through the same events. Oh yeah, we do need to start from Jay's save, which we will do same as before. But yeah, since we've already covered pretty much all of the choices out there, I believe? Except for one or two. We're gonna end up skipping through most of it. It's gonna be Jay's Part 1 ending, then a few extra choices along the way, then the game, which I'm guessing that the game has to go in Jay's favor. Then Jay's bad end, then Jay's good end. And then we'll be set. So until next time, until then...